What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at Toyworld 02 Orion, and as you can tell, this is the Toyworld version of Optimus Prime here, and he's looking pretty good. Now, I was playing with my camera's exposure and stuff, and for whatever reason, I can't get him to not look super-duper pink on the LCD here, so hopefully he's looking more red on the actual video. I assure you, he is very much an Optimus Red and not as pink as it at least looks to me at this point. Here is the Henkei Optimus Prime for comparison, so you can see just how kind of pink he's looking. I really can't figure out why my camera won't actually make him look red, but not much I could do about it. So yeah, this is Optimus. He looks pretty good, and I really can't figure out why every picture people take seems to have this middle window pushed back. As you can see, it almost does completely line up flush with the two side windows here, making it look a lot better from all angles there. And every single picture I've seen, it seems like they forgot a step or something. This little piece in the center here can actually fold in, and this pushes back. And it just seems like nobody's lining it up right. And that was the one complaint I had about his truck mode, is that this front window looked really awkward because it was always recessed. And that doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I really like this. This is the IDW Optimus Prime, so you got the wind vane look here, which I think looks pretty cool. More like a wind vane spoiler. You can see his gun attaches right to the back here. It just pegs in with those tabs right into the back. And yeah, I mean, he looks pretty good. And the only complaint I have here is that these back legs here don't stick together too terribly well. But once you get things pegged in the front here, it doesn't tend to be a problem. He does roll really well, which is always nice. The front wheels actually have articulation on them, so you can actually give him a turning pose here if you want, which is pretty cool if you do like to display your truck in vehicle mode. So yeah, I mean, it's really solid. I think the only thing I could possibly complain about is that I don't particularly like some of the color choices for various things. Like the window is fine, I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. The lights on here could stand to be like a yellow and an orange and stuff, but you know, if a Repro Labels comes along and it's a good enough price, then maybe I'll get it. If not, I can always bust out my paint. So, one other real cool thing, well, before we do that, let's actually pull out our Henkei Prime here so you can see the size differences. Much wider. He's actually not all that much longer than Optimus, but yeah, you'll see a big size difference when we get them to his robot mode here. Now, one thing that I thought was really cool, I don't know if this is intentional or if it's not, I feel like it has to be, because if you look at the back of your Henkei Prime, you got that for your trailer hitch, and you got a very similar one going on here for Orion here. So let's just kind of articulate these wheels just a little bit here, so we get him so he's turning a little maybe. And we're going to pull out another third-party item here, this being the Fans Project trailer for Optimus. And would you look at that, it actually fits on just perfect. The trailer is not tilted up or anything. He actually can pull it pretty nicely. The only thing that you could possibly complain about is that the wheels in the back don't match the wheels on the front like they do on this Prime, but really, that's not that big of a deal. Alright, so let's try to get this guy transformed. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of pop these blue pieces down. We're not going to follow the instructions at all because they're really, really quite bad. Then we're going to take this and we're going to bring this down. And you know what? While we're here, we might as well work on the legs. Let's actually bring these pieces up like this. And what's going to be one of the most interesting things I've ever seen on an Optimus transformation, we're gonna get these wheels facing the other way. So what we're first gonna do, let's just bring up his foot and his heel spur, because they're easy enough to get out of the way, like so. And we have some feet there. Now check this out. This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in terms of an Optimus transformation. You slide these on out, and you can see we just created a space here. And what you're gonna do is, hopefully your toe will be out of the way, rotate this all the way around like that. So now we've put the blue side out as opposed to the wheels, and then just press it back in. And then you can take this blue piece here and fold this all the way down to make the side paneling of Optimus's leg. We'll leave his toe out of the way. Then we'll take this and you kind of take this around, and actually it's easier to do it when it's this way. Flip it around when it's still folded in, and then fold that on in like so. And now we've completely hidden his wheels except for a tiny little bit that shows through the back of his leg, and we can adjust his foot there. How awesome is that transformation for his leg there? That is pretty cool and unlike anything I've ever seen. So again, we'll do it. We'll pull that out. We will flip this around. And now I did find sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get things to spin around. You just kind of have to pull just a little bit harder than I'd like, but nothing feels like it's going to break to actually complete the rotation. So slide it in, slide this locking piece down, flip this around, and close it on up. 2 legs for Optimus. And then also what you have to do is take this and slide his leg joint here over just a little bit so you've centered the thigh on his leg. And we'll have to flip him around after, but for now we've got his legs done, and that's worth doing. We'll come here and we'll disconnect his bumper like so, and we'll fold these pieces in. Now by doing this in this order as opposed to the order they tell you to, you've actually gone ahead and freed up the ability to move these wheel pieces out of the way, which you can see there's a ton of tabs in here, some of them being super duper small, and we certainly don't want to break them in the process. So I'm just gonna push this down, and I kind of lift a little bit of the arm forward so you can see it's slanted, just so I get this behind each of those tabs. Now we're gonna come up to the top here and untab these pieces like this. Now you might see this happen in the video, and these windows can be taken out. Yeah, I don't really know why it's like that, but it is. I guess it leaves room if someone wanted to modify it and make something else for the windshield. Actually, what I was kind of thinking I might do is take these and actually paint them a blue behind them just to make a solid window, which I think might end up looking better, or maybe a silver behind it, just to make the whole window look a little bit nicer and not see all the red through it, but we'll see. So once we've got this out of the way here, the next thing we can do is kind of take these pieces, fold them all the way back and fold them in, and then just kind of work on pulling the arms out here like this, and you're gonna have to basically unpeg them from the top here, and we can fold out the forearms like so. Now there is a bit of interesting transformation here. There is a, you got your swivel here, but there's actually a joint to, it's hard to demonstrate when you're not trying to put them in the truck mode, but it'll actually slide to give a little bit of room between the shoulder and this arm piece. Let's see if I can show you here maybe a little bit better. And you basically just kind of grab it and you pull it like that, and you can see how we've separated these pieces. And that's going to be important because we actually have to flip this piece back to the top like so. Let's get the forearm here out of the way. There we go, and we'll figure out exactly how that needs to be in a second. We're going to open up this chest piece here, which does clip underneath the grill. And things can be a bit stiff, and you can see I just popped off my window like I had said was probably going to happen. And then fold these on in, because that's what's going to actually give us the free motion to do everything we need to at the top up here. And then we're going to take the grill here, make sure that your front tires here are flat, and just kind of push it as far in as you can. And then borrowing a little bit from the Masterpiece primes, we're gonna take this wheel assembly and kind of fold it up on itself here. And if you did it right, it's gonna slide over that piece of the grill in here. Like so. And now we can rotate this piece on up like this to actually form the top part, and we'll rotate this down in the right direction and then just kind of fold this bumper up on itself on the back here. And you do have a little bit of bumper showing, but that's fine. And if these didn't drop down, because you do need to have these up for transformation, just drop them back down. So now it's just back to figuring out the back pieces here. We're gonna disconnect this wind vane here if it hasn't come undone already, and just be careful, the tabs are really small. And then it's a matter of figuring out how these arms are supposed to look. So what's gonna happen is you're going to take this piece here and kind of just stuck here. Get this around like so, and then these will actually drop back down and in like that. And now once we have these in, you'll see that we can take these pieces we had folded forward, and they're actually going to peg in to the sides of those pieces that we just adjusted like that to hold them in place. And the only thing I'm not entirely sure of, I'm gonna have to look at a picture, is which direction these flaps need to be. I may need to kind of spin them around in the right way so they're looking right. For now, I'll just leave them up like that, and I will find the proper way before we do any of the comparisons. So we have this, you can see we got a nice matrix in this chest. Take this little red piece, slide it on in so this slides closer, and you can see how this window is on the slide, which is why I don't understand why there's so many wrong pictures of this guy. And once that's in, you take these and you close the front windows here like so, and everything at the top should have kind of converged together a little bit. And now we come back to the back here, and this part is a little bit difficult if you ask me. So we kind of have to make sure these little pegs here are adjusted properly. I believe they're supposed to swivel with the spoiler piece, or yeah, the spoiler, but it doesn't tend to happen very well. So I usually find that I have to manually adjust it. Alright, back, I just needed to get something that has a little bit more of an angle to it so I can get under this piece here and actually get it flipped out properly. And yeah, I really should have gone with that other post here, but oh well, what can you do? So we're going to take this, kind of take the wind vane pieces and bring it on his back like so. It should come all the way down and around, and then just make sure, like I said, that this little inner piece is facing on in, because this is going to be used to peg this whole back piece together, and that's going to ensure that we have everything in the right position. So take it and swing it closed, and I think I just got the answer to this based on that back piece, is that we do actually need to adjust this and put it in the right position, because it's not quite correct. There we go, let's try it that way. Bring this on down again, let this slide into place. And now that we did that correctly, you'll see that we can actually get this piece into the hole there and we have enough room for the spoiler. So yeah, let me just adjust it on this side again. Take this, make sure all this stuff is out of the way, flip it the other way, now bring it back down. There we go. And then that side here should close up. And some of this stuff just seems like it's really tight too, but it's just that there's so many things interlocking the pieces to ensure that everything looks right that it can be a problem. So now we're going to take the wind vane here and just kind of fold that on down a little bit here and just kind of make it look nice on his back here. And then what we're going to do is come to his hands here and find your flap, open it on up, spin the hand around like so, and close it back up, and we'll just kind of adjust it so it looks nice. And same thing for this side, except we'll do it the right way, hopefully. Get this open, flip the hand, close it up, and we pretty much have him done. All we've got to do now is flip up his head, which this was the other complaint I had about this guy, was his head. So flip him up, we got a head there. Well, not really, we got the light piping, so we'll switch it around. And there we go, we've got Optimus's head. And honestly, in person the head looks 900,000 times better than it looked in the pictures. Let's see if we can kind of get a zoom in on it there. Maybe it was the way that the paint on the eyes was looking or something like that, or the Photoshop maybe, but it really didn't look real right, and now it actually looks pretty good. I may actually go back and give him some light paint on his eyes, just because really the blue is really quite difficult to get to light pipe at all. There we go, if it would focus. See if we can't get that to show up a little bit. So you get some blue, it looks pretty nice, but overall his eyes do look a little bit dead when you're looking at him in his robot mode. But really, this is a completely successful looking robot mode all the way around. Just looks really strong and powerful, kind of like I would expect Prime to look. For articulation here, you do have the 4 fingers here being combined together, no thumb articulation, but that's fine. It's perfectly good. You can close it up and then you just kind of peg his gun into it. It is a 5mm peg, so if we had our 10K Optimus here and you really wanted to, I suppose, you could give him the real Optimus looking gun, which is real sharp looking in itself. I really like that. So pegs in here just nicely. You do have some wrist articulation, and again, these are pretty nice, so if you get any accessories you can get them in relatively easily on this guy. And let's put him to the side. For our articulation here, the head is on this plate here that doesn't really lock, so you can kind of get some up and down, but it does end up looking a little bit awkward. Other than that, it's just a swivel on the head, but yeah, it's not bad. It's completely usable. Arms, you got a ratchet here for the side to side, and then you got the full 360 rotation here, slightly hindered by the spoiler, really not all that bad. Your upper arm swivels, you just have the single elbow, and then your wrist swivels, so that's perfectly functional. Waist swivel there. For legs, you've got, let's move these out of the way. For legs, you got a really nice range of motion here. It's using the same type of joints that you're using on a Classics Optimus, so you get the 90 degrees and then the forward and back. And honestly, going backwards is a little bit hindered by the spoiler, but if you are the bumper, but if you really needed to, you could always move it out of the way and get a full range of motion out of there. You got the thigh swivel, you got really strong knees. I don't know, I could do, I guess without the extra strong knees. I wish they were a little bit more free, but he will hold a pose really nice. And then of course, due to transformation and the fact that this is on a ball joint, you have a little bit of toe articulation to kind of get him to stand properly. Overall, it's really all the articulation you really could need out of an Optimus toy. So yeah, I'm content with it. If we zoom in here, we can open up this door here, and as you can see, we do have a little matrix of leadership inside. It just plugs in the same way as they all do, and it's looking pretty nice. Very nicely painted with the clear plastic jewel on the inside. Doesn't open, it's okay, it doesn't have to. And we'll just close this all up again. So, I brought him out a little bit earlier here, and you saw the Henkei Optimus, and you can just see just how much bigger this is. Now, I've seen some people compare, you know, you have Henkei, and then you have Orion, and then you have MP10, who stands quite a bit bigger. But really, this guy's not meant to replace your MP10. He's meant to replace your Classics Optimus. And a lot of people might say Classics Optimus doesn't need to be replaced. He looks pretty good. And if you listen to the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, of GMC, Good Morning Cybertron, a podcast I'm on with some friends, we really said that, you know, Optimus, you know, Hasbro pretty much nails Optimus. They do a real good job, so this isn't, you know, necessarily a huge improvement over this, except for the fact that Hasbro rarely ever nails Megatron. And Toyworld 01 is Hegemon. So when you take Hegemon here, and you sit him next to your little Optimus, it really doesn't fit very well. And that, to me, outside of the fact that he was a more G1 looking truck mode than Classics Optimus, is the reason to get Orion, because now I have an Optimus that stands, you know, pretty much eye to eye. Actually, he's slightly taller than Hegemon here, but stands eye to eye with this Megatron, and looks good while doing it. So really, I think that this is a pretty awesome toy. The transformation is a little bit difficult, but you know, I think that he makes up for it in terms of just uniqueness of some of the engineering of his parts. And if you have a Hegemon, you really kind of need this guy, and he feels like a big, solid, sturdy brick. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get him, and we'll transform him back to his vehicle mode. But if you're not sticking around, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Alright, so as promised, let's see if we can get this guy back into his vehicle mode without the instructions here in an order that makes more sense. So we're going to start by taking his fists and folding them away like so on each side. Fold those tabs in, take his head, spin it around, push it straight down. Now we're going to come to disconnecting a lot of things, and this can be a little bit tough. Disconnect these panels from the arm pieces here, and then kind of take your spoiler and flip it up and out of the way. And you should see that these will come together on his back, assuming you get his spoiler out of the way of itself. And then what we're actually going to do is, before we finish this, we have to get in here and flip the little extra spoiler piece up and out. Spoiler or wind vane. It looks more like a spoiler, I guess, but really I think properly it's a wind vane. So take it, flip it out, and we'll kind of connect these together. Just be careful of these little tabs, because we certainly don't want to break anything on this guy. So then we'll come to the front here, and I find this is easiest. This fell down on me. We're going to take this and flip this around right now, get this out of the way, and then what we're going to also do is take this piece and fold it up like that, and just kind of keep your bumper out of the way. And then I fold his feet down, like I said, to make it easiest, but it's kind of like making a much shorter Optimus is what we're doing at this point. So then we're going to take these and just kind of unpeg them from the front, open up these windows here, so we can take these and just kind of get them out of the way, and that's going to give us more free range on these shoulders. Then what we're going to do is come around here and lower the front of the truck down, make sure that we have enough clearance here, and pull this grill forward like so. Now it's a matter of figuring out these arm pieces, and these are always kind of a pain. So when you have this guy in his vehicle, these flat pieces here are going to face forward. So let's make sure we get that like this. So that's facing forward. And you can see we still have the room, so we're going to take this, and what basically should happen is we should see that it'll end up kind of making that cup like this in the front. So fold both of these like that. Well, we can leave these folded on in for now, but it should look like this from the top. And then make sure that your other set of arms, or that the back part of your arms here, flip them up like so. So when we're looking from the top, it's going to end up looking like this. So fold this on in. And what this is actually allowing us to do here is take this assembly, and you're going to take it, and the gray pieces are going to come to the top here, as opposed to the side for robot mode, so you have it in the top. And what we need to do also is adjust the mechanism in here. You can kind of see it, so that this is flush like so. And now we got everything here in the right place. That's going to allow it all to tab in at the bottom once we're ready. So come back to this side, and we're going to do the same thing, just kind of make it flush. And now it's pretty much about just kind of closing everything back up here. So first we'll take this, and you might have to fiddle with the arm a little bit, but you should find that once you have the gray piece in the right position at the top, everything should kind of start coming in together on the side here. Maybe. There we go. It just wasn't up quite high enough, and my gray piece wasn't rotating properly. So there we go. We got it. Now it's all kind of falling in place here. Make sure that you don't break your little tabs here underneath these little wheel assemblies. So pop them over, and that's going to set everything in the back here into the right position. And then make sure that you've pulled this forward, flip this out, and then take this and kind of lock it in place like so. And we can go ahead and close up these top windows up here. And while you have it out, make sure that you're clipping the windows here into the grill, and make sure that you didn't lose your little tiny window in the process. So there we go. Now you can see if we didn't flip this other piece out, this would have set our window back, which is how it's obviously mistransformed from a lot of people. I see a lot of versions of this that are not transformed right. Even the official pictures show it this way, where you have this big gap in the front. So you really have to make sure that you're paying attention to this little tiny window. Flip it up, and there we go. And show it again, and take this side again, bring this in and peg it into the top of the grill up here. Nice flat window across the top, looks pretty good. Unfold these pieces here, bring them all the way around, and as you can see, they will catch the tabs at the top here and should peg right into the side of your grill also. Don't worry if it doesn't seem to line up properly. Don't force it, because you probably have these little tabs out of place at the bottom. Whoops. So just kind of grab this, push it in, and let it go. So there we go, we got that. We can bring the bumper on up, fold out these pieces, fold the bumper up, and these will plug right into the little slots at the bottom there, like that. And now we're pretty much done with the front end here. So we can take this, and if your spoiler came undone, go ahead and fix it. Wind vane, whatever. Then take these and rotate them on up, like so. And make sure that your back pegs here are down, otherwise it's going to cause a problem. But rotate these up again, like I said, on both sides, and then just plug them into the little gray pieces that are attached to the wind vane. And that's ensuring that you get the right height on your wind vane. So everything should really have come together like this. So we're going to go onto the legs down here. We're going to take these and fold them on up like so. Then we're going to take the legs over here and just slide them out just a little bit. They don't move all that much, but just enough. Now we'll open up this assembly like that and kind of rotate this on around. Just make sure your tabs don't get caught on anything. Open, rotate. Pretty much have to go one direction, otherwise some of the molded detail, those tabs will catch on. And once we have this, we come here, we pull this out, spin it all the way around, push it back in, pull it out, spin it, push it back in. Push these two legs together, which again, mine are a little bit weak down here. Fold the little heel spur up, fold the foot down, like so. And if you prefer, you can kind of go the MP01 route, where you have this going on there to make it a little more flat. I actually kind of prefer it like that, so I'm going to leave it like that. Take this, rotate this on up, and you can see things here just not holding together very well, but we're going to take these little blue pieces and ensure that they fit into their spots here on both sides, like so. And once you have that, kind of hold this and just push down on all your tabs here to make sure that everything is all connected on both sides. And now these should be staying together pretty well because of it. So there we go. We got Orion back in his vehicle mode. If you want, plug the gun right in the back here. And we're done. So yeah, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.